All right, well, it looks like it's time to get started. Here we go. All right, guys, so we're just going to look at the top 10 real quick. Everything's basically up except for Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Cardano, Polkadot's up, Binance Coin's down, Stellar's up, USD Coin is where it is, SV up for some reason, Monero, EOS down, Red Bitcoin up, not surprisingly, and Tron up. Let's see, Crow is 22, they're up as well. They're down for the most part. Market, for the most part, the large cap coins looking green. XRP is down a little bit right now. Looking at the charts for now, I just wanted to talk about again what I think is happening from my perspective right now. We've had just the whales deciding to sell, maybe to cause a little bit of fear, to splash around a little bit. If you notice, they tend to work in threes. So like 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3. And then even like up, you can kind of, 1, 2, 3, that sort of thing. Now, this is just a very by thumb way of doing it. But again, the overall trend is up. And if we zoom out all the way back till March, it is up, unmistakably up. So remember, the larger time frame that you go, the stronger the trend is. And I'll just draw lines to reiterate what I'm saying. The trend is up right now. And I personally believe, again, that we're probably going to be in this trend till at least the end of 2021. Do your own research. This is not investment advice. All right. All right, looking at the stock to flow model, we are still about where I believe we should be, which is just under that line. Remember that when reading this chart, which is a forecast projection, that this line tends to be above where the spot price of Bitcoin will be. So essentially, it rarely rises above this line, and if it does, at least for the moment, in my perspective, it tends to be a little overbought. So it is what it is. Not always true, not always hold the form. Let's go ahead and zoom out again one more time, reload the page. There we go. As this chart goes and realizes itself from projection to actualization, this line tends to change a little bit. So that's why you see some of the lines curve along the route. If you were to visit this page, which is digitalik.net, if you are interested, that's where you tend to find it. All right, so moving along. The winners for today are Luke the Doc. It is Luke the Doc. And Walk Wise. Congratulations, you have some Bitcoin that has already been sent to you. I hope you enjoy that right now. And that will do it for the early part of the show. Let's switch to something a little bit more calm. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about two things today. We're going to talk about where Bitcoin has come this year, as well as a new feature at one of my free favorite sites to introduce people to that are new in the space. As you know, I am a proponent of free Bitcoin. They are the best online free Bitcoin faucet, in my opinion. There are many things you can do to earn Bitcoin without having to spend $1 as long as you're dedicated to the system. It has worked. It was one of the first places where I started, and I still have some of my Bitcoin in there right now. All right, so what they've started doing is what's called the Wheel of Fortune, which is a form of giveaway to people who use the site once a day. And all you have to do is subscribe to it. And I will let this video explain some of it right now in just a second. But here are some of the prizes: $15,000 Rolex, $1,500 iPhone, free golden tickets, which give you the amount of Bitcoin that you would need for a Lamborghini, Amazon gift cards, lottery tickets, and free Bitcoin. We'll look at that a little bit more in a second, but first I want to show this video real quick. So we'll go ahead and turn off the happy music and get started. All right, guys, and that is Free Bitcoin, one of my favorite sites to get free Bitcoin. They are a Bitcoin faucet, and if you're interested, I have a link to them down below. You'll support me and the channel, as well as supporting yourself. I also give you 10% on top of what the fountain would give you, should you become part of it. Now let's go and look at the wheel. It looks like this. It is 500 Satoshis. They have reward points, which you can also cash in for other prizes. Here's the Rolex. Golden tickets, which go towards the Lambo Bitcoin giveaway, and various other things like that. iPhone, more reward points, more Satoshis, 5,000 Satoshis, and a 500 Amazon gift card. Now, I've already spun it for myself today, so unfortunately I can't spin it right now. That probably would have been good to save. Oh well, that's my fault, my bad. Maybe I'll do it next week. And so what I'm going to do right now is move on to the main topic right now as the garage door closes in my home. Let's see. All right. So essentially right now, I've been talking to a lot of people about Bitcoin. And I will say that everybody who I've talked about Bitcoin earlier this year has been in profit, which has been really exciting for me. Not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum and a couple other coins. And so I was talking to someone about stocks at my work. And by the way, stocks are good. The stock market looks like this, and that's just the truth of it. So, stock markets always go up, no matter what. Assuming that productivity increases and the population of the human race increases, stock markets are basically going to go up, as they are commodities and they're based on the hard work of people and that sort of thing. So stocks aren't like bad per se. It's just that Bitcoin is by far the best investment this year. So I have two articles here. One is from, I believe, May, and the other one is from November. So just like a couple weeks ago. Bitcoin is outperforming every mainstream asset class in 2020. So the NASDAQ, for example, in this case is 35%. Now, mind you, the NASDAQ is going up because, again, the dollar has weakened. And Bitcoin is also going up because the dollar has weakened. In that case, they're a little bit correlated, but correlation is not necessarily, causation. But anyway, Bitcoin is up 92% as of May of this year. As of May. It is over double what the NASDAQ did. And year to date, if you started in January, would have been 40% with the with treasuries being 21%, something like that. Anyway, and so that was May. So let's go a little bit farther down the path here, right? So this is November, right? These are traditional assets versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the golden chart right here, and it is literally outpacing everything by double. Literally everything by double. So again, stocks have been doing well. Companies like Tesla, various other companies have been doing extremely well, and I understand that. And I invest in stocks too. I'm a beginner when it comes to it, and that's fine. But there's no comparison to the type of tear that Bitcoin will probably do this year. Again, not investment advice. A lot of what I look at are projections. And simple supply and demand is the reason why Bitcoin is going up, especially with other YouTube channels and other sources showing that JP Morgan may funnel $600 billion into Bitcoin. That has to force the price to go up. I believe that 50,000 Bitcoin is $1 billion. So 50,000 times what? Times 600 is how much Bitcoin they're probably going to buy over the next however long they're going to do that. That means the price has to go up. And that's looking at the fundamentals of the situation without getting bent out of shape. So like, for example, here's the correlation with the US dollar. And see how the price just goes way down. Boom. And this is when everybody got their $1,200 COVID check. It just went. That's where all the money went, Anyway, it's just really interesting to watch all of this happening in basically real time. And oftentimes when I talk to people about Bitcoin who are older than me, the first thing I get is, well, hey, I made 30K on this. And all I can say is like, well, It's not bad that you've invested in the stock market, but it's also kind of like, well, it doesn't compare to something that could have made you 2 or 3 times that easily within the same year. Now, mind you, if I'm talking to someone who's older, also, they can't be as risky as I can be. I'm 32, about to turn 33, and I can afford to do some of these different, more risky moves. And in fact, I probably should and have to at some level. And even my more safer things like a 401k, retirement plan, they're probably being riskier as well because I'm younger, like a pension plan or something like that. Um, However, that's just what I think about that. Now, some other channels and some other sources are talking about how people may be taking loans for Bitcoin. Now, unfortunately, it's never the smartest thing to do. However, I think the time to do that was January through March of this year. I think the time to do it, personally, from my perspective, was January through March, because now we are at the all-time high and it's uncharted territory. Um, do I personally think that me and other people could make more profit from this point forward by doing something like that? Maybe. But we're in uncharted territory. All the forecasts and all the places where we've been the past year or so, something in my mouth, um, all lead up to this moment where we're kind of in unknown territory. And that's one reason I believe that the whales are holding firmly at the 19K mark, because everything after this point is just unknown. So we'll see what happens. The other thing is that, I showed earlier in the video, I think now that it's Christmas time and people are buying gifts and preparing for tax season, it's the perfect time for them to play with the market, because the people who would normally buy, like you and me, we're busy. I'm giving my friend a gift, I'm giving my family members a gift, they're giving me gifts. And again, preparing for tax, we probably don't have the liquid funds to buy more Bitcoin and gobble up some of these prices. See, that's one reason why December, if I remember correctly, December tends to not be the best month for Bitcoin, but we're still in a bull market, as you can see, by this massive trend that probably began more like over here, over in December of last year, right? And the halving obviously being in May, around the 11th. Um, Again, personally, I believe that Bitcoin is going to be in a bull market till at least the end of 2021. At least the end of 2021. It's not too late to buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. I try to be gentle when I explain Bitcoin to other people who are trying to hold desperately onto their hard-earned money, especially during the pandemic. Um, and there are a lot of facts that people don't know about their own dollar. People don't know that the dollar loses value every year. Or they do, but they don't know why. It's not because of minimum wage or all these random things. It's because they're just printing so much money. There are other countries. I think it was Argentina, which lost something like 20% of their wealth or something crazy like that this year, in 1 year. So imagine 20 to 30% of your wealth is gone after you earned it, because they have to print so much money to pay their bills, or God knows what they're doing with the money. Now, we're a lot smaller than that. However, after 10 years, it's the same amount when it comes to our dollar. So it's just terrible. And if you combine, bracket creep from tax policy, it gets even worse for people who are in the lower tax brackets. But these are all different little tidbits. Bracket creep being because inflation goes up. You have to earn more in order to have a living wage, which means you're forced to pay more taxes, but the brackets aren't going to rise with your wage. So, and also things cost more. So it's a double rock and hard place sort of scenario. But anyway, these are a lot of things I've been learning in this space, and it's really intense, and it's been a good year, and I would just hope that, people who haven't explored the space yet would become more comfortable with it and just consider putting in something. Get off of zero. A lot of people, some of my favorite YouTubers like Altcoin Daily, get off of zero. That's one of their mantras. Get off zero. Just get more than nothing and just hold on to that. Even fractions of a Bitcoin, because there is not enough to go around, may become thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next decade, if we hold firm to the path that we're on right now. And just to alleviate some concerns, If, for example, they do invent a quantum computer that can assault Bitcoin wallets, then they'll just make a patch to Bitcoin that will be resistant to quantum computers, which isn't that hard because I believe that quantum computers are developed in such a way that they have to have a specific path in order to get a task done. Now, they do it extremely efficiently, but they need a specific way to do it. It's 1 or 0, but we'll see. Anyway, y'all, um, again, for the next competition, for the next comment, uh, please like and subscribe to the channel. Support me, support the channel, support some of the news I bring, support the journey. Um, and what are your thoughts on free Bitcoin and the new wheel that they've just introduced? What do you think about them? Have you had good experiences, bad experiences? What would you say? Um, if you want to be part of the next giveaway, write a comment with your Bitcoin address and answer that question that I just asked, and you will be part of the randomized giveaway each week. If you don't talk about the topic, I'm going to skip you. All right, guys, have a wonderful week. I hope you're safe and happy and healthy and not having COVID and not in a hospital or something crazy like that. Be safe. Have a good one. Bye.